Hi all, welcome back. So in the last video, we left till the for each row in the data table. So we will start writing or reading data from the Excel that we have extracted the data using the read range. So how to read the column data? So suppose if I want to read this John, Jani Smith IT solutions. So we have to use something called for each row in the data table, and then we have to mention which column and which row you want. So let's see how we can do that. So there are two options as I told in my theoretical sessions. Like you can use either get row item, and you can mention like which row you are talking about. So suppose I am in the first, I will take this first row, and then I would say name. In the name I would say first name. Make sure whatever the name is there, you have to write the same thing. Even if there is space, you have to include space. And then value, where you want to store this get row item. So suppose let me control V, control K, and then write first name. Similarly, if you want to take last name, so same thing, you have to write something called row, then name, and then remember in the, if you are clicking on this last name, you can see some differences there. At the last, there is one space in this particular Excel file. So make sure you also add one space while writing this last name, otherwise it will throw an error, because these things are case sensitive. So you can see I have added one space as well. If you'll not add that particular column name what it is in the Excel file, so it will throw an error. And where you want to store it, so I will control K and I would say where, and then last name. You can see we are started creating. So let me make it name capital and capital here. Okay. Similarly, we have other items. So let me show you other ways as well. So let me take one, two more, and then I will show you other way as well. So this time let me take the same thing, then row. Again, I will take for name, and this time I will take for this company name. See, there is no space in that, only there was space in the last name. And where you want to store it, so control K and then where, company name. Similarly, pass this row name, double quotes, role in company. Control K, where, role in company. Now let's see the other ways apart from this. So we can directly use something called assign, and let's take address. I want to take this address, I want to store this address. I would say control K, same thing where address. And how we can use assign here? Directly we will pass this like this row, and we will say address dot to string. So same thing, you can either use this get row item or you can use this address if both are same. So if you suppose if I want to do for other, so let me suppose if I want to do for this email, how we can do that? Control K, where email, in the value write row email and then to string. Similarly, the last one, something called where phone number, in the value just copy the same thing, row double quotes phone number and then to a string. See, now let's see what are the variable types of everyone. So first name is string, last name is string, everything is string till phone number. If you see first name is string, last name is string, company name is IT solutions, this is string, 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 string. But the phone number, you can see it is an integer type. So what we can do, since this is a very big number, so to make it more simplifier, we can use something called generic value. What is this generic value? Generic value can hold anything. It can hold either string or integer. So let me use something called generic. So let's see where it is. Generic value UiPath. So we have to focus on system. Whenever we are trying to find some value, so we have to find something called generic from the system. So let me see. Generic, where is this generic in system? UiPath generic value. So something here we have. So now you can see something generic value. Now type we have changed it to the generic value. Also let me change the scope of all the thing that we have extracted. So that it will be accessible by everywhere. Last is phone number that is left. Okay, so now till here what we did, we open our Excel, we open our browser, we open that website from the assets using the assets, and then we read the data from the Excel, and we extracted the each and individual data. So how, if you want to see data, how you can see that? So you can use something called log messages to check these things. So suppose log messages I am taking just for information, and now what is the value you are getting, you will see here. Similarly, now take for everyone so that it will be easier to audit. Take this role in company now, so that we will see what are the datas or values we are getting. Take this log, take this log, and take this log. 3 logs. In this log you are talking about where email. Okay, so I similarly in this one you are talking about where address. These things will make your code very easier to read and understand where are you, what value you are getting. So suppose I am using this phone number. So I, for auditing purposes, I use this log messages so that I get to know what are the datas I am getting. Here I have to add so many best practices which I have not did. So what I follow, I used actually first the requirement. I try to cover the requirement, basic requirements. Once everything is done, then I try to follow the best practices. If you can also go through like that. You can start writing annotations, and in the annotations you can write opening RPA challenge website, like that. So let's discuss more about the next activities in our next video. Till then, bye bye and happy learning.